this is Lala Legacy, and welcome back to another episode of Symphonic Rain. So, I was told in the comments of my last video that I was kicked off of FALSITA'S route, because I failed the song too many times. So, I went back, and I completed the last one that you guys saw, and I passed it this time, so here we go. Good work. Same to you. Still behind my foretell, I stretched and loosened up my arms and shoulders. Apparently, neither of us had felt like taking a break during the long period we spent practicing. Perfect, I guess, Val said casually while taking a stretch herself as well. I wonder. She normally gives praise where praise is due and points out the deficiencies in my performance where she notices them. But today, that was all she had to say. We still have a little bit of time. Feel like continuing? Either way is fine with me. Oh, really? In that case, I kid. It's still a bit early, but let's go home. I really wouldn't have objected to continuing, though. But nah, you're dismissed for the day. Let's clean up and go home. Got it. Yes! I did it! I did it! I changed the difficulty setting. When I checked the clock on the wall, when exiting the building, I noted that we were leaving more than an hour earlier than usual. I suppose this is nice every once in a while. It really only has to be once in a while, or our skills might dull. You were the one who suggested it in the first place. I know what's best for me. If I left it up to you, we'd be going home at this hour every day. What an awful thing to say. The rain was pretty light today. While it never actually stopped raining in this town, the current rain was extraordinarily weak. I had to focus to even feel the drops on my skin. If only these clouds went away, we would be able to see a pretty blue sky. The color of the sky in my hometown flashed through my mind for an instant. Huh? I glanced at Val. She had turned around and seemed to be waiting for someone. Asino. Asino? You don't mean... Once the figure came into range close enough for me to discern his facial features, I found my suspicions were true. Yo, Chris! Hey, what are you doing here this late? Don't tell me you've been practicing. Hey, what's with that tone? Oh. Having come to a standstill in front of me, Asano seemed to take a hit from behind and staggered forward a few steps. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be stopping without warning. No, it's okay. Good day. Good day, Val. Hello, Val. You all know each other? The classic surprise of finding out that two of your friends you met at different places turn out to be acquaintances. Those were exactly my feelings now. Yes, this girl is a violinist as well. Or, not violinist, a vocalist as well. I see, so Asino, you really have been practicing. Don't sound so surprised. It's making me lose the will to complain. And you know Val as well? More like who doesn't know the former student council president. There was one who didn't even know her name. Val glanced at me, giggling. Huh, I'd like to see the face of that guy. Go ahead. Val motioned toward me with her hand. What? You've got the wrong idea. I didn't say anything yet. Besides, it's not the wrong idea at all. Excuse me? Oh, sorry. This guy's silliness made me totally forget about you. I think I'm acting perfectly normal. I see anyway. I guess I said I'd walk home with you. Sorry, but I'm going back with this guy. The female student suddenly gave me an annoyed scowl. I figured Asino promised her to walk her back, but... Hey! Asino! Huh? I mean, yes, miss. Upon hearing Fal's polite tone of speech, Asino too began speaking as though he were talking to Miss Cordell. Did you make a promise? Or you did make a promise. It is improper conduct to to not stick to your word. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time reading today. Oh no, I did not mean to. Sorry about that. I'll walk you home. Suddenly revising his all but indifferent attitude toward the girl, Asino now spoke to her in an almost affectionate tone. Which way to your home? It's in the new town. Got it. Then let's go. Yes. We're off. See ya, Chris. Val. Yes, goodbye. See you. I was a little impressed by the fact that Asino was actually practicing more than I thought. Well, judging from that girl's attitude, it was probably her first time today. He may, in fact, never even get past that first session. But despite his attitude, he was actually pretty popular, so I doubted he was too worried about finding a partner. He's as irresponsible as ever. Yet you don't seem very upset about it. Because I didn't expect anything less from him. I took note of the fact that Fal had once again returned to her casual manner of speech. Looks like you two get along well. I suppose, but I was kind of surprised that you would go that far in saying that to him. Why is that? I merely pointed him to the fact that it was improper conduct. Asino might have a weak spot for girls like you. He's like that around Miss Cordell as well. Really? The girl laughed and took that opportunity to resume walking. I suppose this is as far as we go. Right. Oh, before you go, one more thing. Huh? What are you doing for Natalie? I didn't know what to say. I didn't have plans. And I knew Ari wouldn't be able to make it. But what about it? Ari and I were going out, and being able to spend Natalie together or not wouldn't change that fact. If I decided to be honest with her and tell her I didn't have plans, she might ask me to spend it with her. Would it be better if I made up an excuse now, rather than having to refuse her afterward? But then again, perhaps I was just getting ahead of myself, and she was just asking out of curiosity. What's wrong? Nothing. I was just wondering if you'd like to practice then. Huh? Practice? Weren't you taught that not touching your instrument for a day makes your skill level relapse by 3? That is the same with ballet, though! I'm sure I was. You were planning on spending it loitering around? I wouldn't go that far. But did you have plans? No, none in particular. I see, then how about it? Uh-oh, there was no turning back now. I already blurted out the words, and the girl already posed the question that would seal the deal. Sorry, never mind I said anything. Are you sure? No, not really. Wait a sec. I don't mind waiting, but... With burning red cheeks, Fal took a few deep breaths, then, after seemingly having calmed herself down, she began speaking. I suppose it's uncalled for to suddenly ask to spend a day like Natalie together, huh? You may already have plans, and even if you didn't, you might still get some. I already said I didn't have plans, and I didn't expect to get any anytime soon. Besides, it's not even decided that I will become your partner, so it'd be troublesome to practice that much with me, wouldn't it? And I didn't think it would be much trouble practicing with her either. But I decided to wait for her to finish before telling her that. So, should you decide to pick me as your partner for graduation, 'cause I mean, it's happening pretty soon now, you know. So, if so, will you come to the practice room this Friday? If you do, I thought it'd be nice to spend Natalie practicing as well. Friday? I normally have work on Fridays, but I took that day off. Why? Because it's the time limit for us senior vocalists. You mean you didn't know? I did, but In actuality, the registration deadline for senior vocalists was the first day of class of the new year, January 3rd. After missing that, one automatically got put into the vocalist department graduation program as soloist. But the fact of the matter was that one could hardly spend the roughly 10 days of year-end holiday without practice. So the last day of class on the 23rd of December was commonly accepted as the time limit. That's why you took the day off from work? Right. I'll have to work on Thursday instead, though. I see. This made it all more difficult to refuse, because it meant she would be in that practice room for the sole reason of waiting for me. You don't have to come if you're going to partner with someone else. It must be difficult to refuse me in words, so you may as well not come at all. Sorry for making this so complicated, but do you think you can agree with this? Sure. Okay, see you then. She ran off, briskly enough for her footsteps to echo through the streets, and disappeared from view in a matter of seconds. Although her tone had appeared collected, she spoke in a peculiar way that was very much unlike her usual self. Still dazed, I kept standing out in the rain for a little while. 3 days to go. I hadn't decided what to do yet, but the day that I would have to decide something was creeping closer every passing minute. 23rd of December. Come to think of it, today's the day, right? Forney said in a slightly serious tone while I was in the middle of getting ready. It seemed like she remembered what I'd told her the night before about the deadline Fal had given me. Yeah. Have you come to a decision? Don't tell me you haven't. Don't worry about it. Thank goodness. So are you going? Heck yeah, we are. I'm thinking of going. I see. Forney. Yes? What did you think of Fal's abilities that time we rehearsed here? Why that all of a sudden? Just answer me, please. Well, I thought she was good. Not as good as me, though, of course. Oh, come on. No one could ever hope to beat you, right? You even call yourself a sprite of music. You betcha! Wait, this was about Fal, right? Yeah. She's definitely good, but I had the feeling that something was missing. Missing? Like what? Can't find the right words for it. Nothing to do with her technique, at least. So, what is there besides technique? I don't know. If you felt like there was something missing, then I don't doubt that. She should surely be able to sing her own song to perfection. This was a matter of countless tiny flaws, tiny to the point they could hardly even be called that. These truly minuscule imperfections had started appearing somewhere along the line in the time I spent listening to Fal's voice. I had gotten used to Forney's voice of perfection, so perhaps no one besides me would even be able to detect them. Even so, I was thinking that maybe I could help her iron out those flaws. You want to help her improve? If she indeed lacks something that you don't, I might be able to find out what it is at the very least. But why? She's already more than capable for a student. There's no reason for you to... I think Fal isn't yet satisfied with that. She's capable of rising even further. Or so you say, but are you sure you're not just doing it because you want to play together with her? I'll admit that that's also true. I'm thinking of asking her to be my partner. Did you think this over? Do you still think I'm doing this on a whim after what I just told you now? I don't. Great, thanks. Ari and Torta. Ari has been to my room twice, unnaughtily last year, and the year before that. Forney had taken an extreme liking to her for some reason. Whenever Ari came over, she would sit on her shoulder and even affectionately caress her cheek. Then again, she showed the same kind of behavior to Torta, so she might simply be fond of that kind of face. As such, Forney would always side with Ari and Torta. which was why I was expecting Forney to object. In fact, she may have even been able to change my mind with it. However, convinced that I had given my decision considerable thought, Forney seemed to readily accept it. Okay then, see you later. Yeah, later. With a trace of ill humor in her voice, Forney added in a whisper, Chris! Yes? Bye! Oh, how cute! With Miss Cordell's last class of the year wrapped up, I almost routinely trudged towards the practice room at the far end of the corridor. I had no intention of ending my relationship with Ari. I simply wanted to offer this one girl named FALSITA'S my assistance. That was all there was to it. That statement contained neither lies nor falsities. Chris! I came to rehearse. Yes. I seated myself behind my foretell as usual, but there was one thing I had to confirm before allowing my fingers to touch the keyboard. Val. Is something the matter? There's something I need to tell you. Yes? There's a good possibility you might think I'm crazy for saying what I'm about to say. I truly hoped this was just my presumptuousness at play. It would be much better if this ended with only me getting embarrassed. Is this about Arietta? How did you know? I heard it from Tortanita. But I was the one who forcefully elicited it. I'm sorry. No, I don't mind, but... Thank goodness. It wasn't Tortanita's fault, really. It was my own. I see. If I chose to believe her, it would mean that I had simply been jumping to conclusions. However, I didn't view myself as someone slow to pick up on those kind of vibes. I had a hard time believing it had all been a misunderstanding on my part. Chris. Yes? I like singing. With the distant look in her eyes, Val brought up something completely different. I feel privileged to be able to attend this institute. I have given it my all these past 3 years in regards to everything. All I could do was nod. Which is why this graduation recital is of the utmost importance to me. To me, this isn't just a matter of graduating or not, but something far more. Whoops. Her voice had been reduced to a whisper at the end, and I couldn't pick up what she said. But her true feelings had already come across crystal clear. But why me? Right. Why did she choose me? Well, I didn't enter this institute with a half-hearted attitude. I have always felt I wasn't able to meet its expectations. I had never been able to find a proper balance between things I liked and didn't like, and only a handful of instructors ever gave me the light of day. And yet this girl, who had only recently met me, wanted myself as her partner for this recital that was so pivotal to her. It's difficult to put into words, but when I first heard you play and got to perform with you afterward, I felt it. You felt it? Something that I lack. I have a feeling that you have it. It was that faint feeling of something missing that I had talked to Forney about this morning. Had she noticed it as well? I don't know what it is you're looking for. But if I can be of any help in finding it, if only a little bit. Chris! I came here today because I felt like I wanted to support you. Thanks. One word, and the girl's eyes dropped back under her music sheet. That gesture caught my eye for a moment. After that, we both went silent for a few minutes. It was no uncomfortable pause by any means. Rather, it served to gauge the degree of intimacy between us. Well then, yeah. Then let us begin our rehearsal immediately. At a leisurely pace if possible. No, didn't I just tell you I wanted to perfect my graduation performance? On second thought, I think I might have jumped the gun with my decision. It's too late to retract it now. An almost blindingly bright atmosphere permeated the room as we went back to focusing on our foretell and staff sheets, respectively. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. Okay, there we go. Haha. See, I put it on easy because it was way too hard on hard mode. Ah! But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. By subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!